Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today I've got a couple things I'm gonna do. I was at Home Depot yesterday. Had to buy some more fertilizer, and they had these, and so I figured why not. So there's the blackberry, there's one in here, and there's 10 of these strawberry plants. I don't know where I'm going to plant the strawberry. I'm just going to have to shove it in some places. But yeah, I'm going to put this blackberry over here. This one, I guess, is still alive because it's got those leaves. That long stem has not come back. But the one that was over here, I pulled it out because it was just dead. So I'm gonna put it in right here. That's one of the little pickle bush cucumbers. So far, the test that I was running to see if they would grow better out here or in a pot, so far the pot is winning. So I may be growing pickle bush cucumbers in pots from now on, just because it seems to be happier in the pot. So I'm going to dig a spot here. And the lemon cucumber back here, I don't think are going to do anything. They just look sad, and and I've been fertilizing them and watering them and everything. They just don't like it here, I guess. Whoa. But we'll stick this blackberry in right here. Let's see. I don't know if this is a bare root plant or what. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. But I saw these and I couldn't pass it up, especially the, well, because one of these blackberry plants was dead, but especially the strawberries, because I've been wanting to get some strawberries, and they were a variety that I've seen recommended for here. So I went ahead and got them. They were $10 each. So I know a lot of people would probably, poo-poo on me for going to Home Depot. Look, there's a little cicada shell. We'll just let it fall in there and be fertilizer. But sometimes I go to Home Depot. So let's see that. I gotta dig that deeper because I didn't realize how deep that soil in that bag went. So I gotta get this fairly deep. There's a roach. And I see a lot of people post about, oh, I've got roaches in my garden. I've got roaches in my compost. I've got, earwigs and all that sort of stuff. And that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with, having, especially in compost, you want that stuff in your compost because they're going to help break down everything that you're putting in there. They're one of the primary, I forgot the word for it, primary decomposers, that's it. They're one of the first decomposers when you put any sort of kitchen scraps or leaves or anything like that in your compost. They're going to be one of the first, things to, well, yes, it is bare root, and it just came right out of the soil. So hopefully it won't die. They're one of the first things that are going to help decompose all of that material that's in there. Your food scraps, the plant material, So you want to have, let's make sure that's down in there good. You want to have stuff like roaches and earwigs and everything in your compost. They eat the bigger pieces and break it down into smaller pieces, and then they poop it out. And then after they are finished with it, the secondary decomposers come along, and that's your microscopic ones a lot of times, your bacteria, your fungi, and they break it down even more, and then you have compost. So let's see how this guy does. It just looks like a stick sticking out of the ground right now, but it was a bare root plant, so I hope it's not too far gone. That soil in there was dry, and it just came right. I tried to pull it out and it came right out. So let's see what happens. I'm not going to be too happy if I just spent $10 on a dead plant. So we'll see what happens. While I'm going to run the sprinkler today, so I'm not going to water it in, but I am going to give a little bit of this fertilizer around it, just to maybe give it a little bit of a boost. Now I have to decide where I'm putting the strawberries. I don't want them to be too far apart from each other. I could put some here, although it says they're self-pollinating, so I still don't want to space them too far away from each other. You can see I've got some turnips coming up. I planted a line there, I planted a line right there, and then I planted some in between the blueberry plants over there. We barely got any blueberries off of them because the birds beat us to them. So next year I'm going to have to put netting or something around it. I'm cautious with netting though, because I don't want it to tangle any of the birds or anything up, but maybe I'll stick some strawberries in over there. So there's 10 plants, and I would assume that these are going to be bare root as well. I don't really know how that's going to work, because strawberries don't have like the big stems like blackberries do, and they're certainly not trees, but we'll see. As you can see, I've cut down, I trimmed the Mexican sunflowers back, and I have mulched with them, or threw them down, let them rot, add some organic matter to the soil. But so I'll come in here and I'll put some strawberries in right here. Now let's see how big they are when I get the bag open. I always end up not putting the camera on it, if you'll pardon me there. I started making biochar. I think this root right here might be to that sunflower right there. I don't want to sever it, so, but I started making biochar. I've got a bunch of charcoal that I haven't charged yet, but I'm going to need a whole bunch more. There was a big, and I'll show you in a second, a big limb that fell down in a tree around here. I don't know where exactly it came from, and I don't know exactly what. I'm assuming it's an oak limb. It was big, but it was completely just dead, and that's why it fell, because it was rotting, and it fell off the tree, and it was already super dry, so it lit right up when I did it, which is great. Okay, I see nothing but dirt in here. Now there's roots right there, but I'm not sure where the plants are. I may have just wasted my money. So I don't know. It says there's 10 plants in here. There's a whole bunch of roots right there. I guess this is all of them stuck together. So I think what I'm gonna do is just put it in. Excuse me. I'm not gonna put it right there. Actually, I'll come over here where there's not a big root in the way. I'll put it in and I'll see if when it starts to wake up, I may have to, then I'll separate it out. And we'll see what survives. Because that's a big root system. I just don't see any plants. So maybe it's just roots. I'll put it in right here. And then fill it up. Let's see if I got it deep enough. I can mound it up some if I have to. I don't want the... Don't want to pack it down too much, but pack it down a little bit. Oh, there was an okra that was not growing, so... I'll do that. Well, we'll see what happens. See if I just wasted my money. And hey, if I did waste my money, those of you who are watching this will, you'll know what not to do. So you won't waste your money. At least I can help some of you out. I guess I look for the silver lining there. But I'll give it a few squirts of this. And that'll be that as far as that goes. Yeah, so come over here real quick. I planted, you can see the turnips coming up here. You can see the loofah is really starting to climb. Hopefully it'll bloom soon. It's got these little spots that I think are going to be flowers. So hopefully it'll bloom soon, but it's definitely starting to take off. I planted a few. I'm not sure what that is coming up there. And I planted some roselle. And I don't remember exactly where I planted it. And then I planted some buttercup squash because from what I read, it's good to go ahead and plant it, and then in the fall you harvest it. So, but I can't remember exactly where I planted that, so we'll find out. The cassava is really starting to come in. This Cuban pumpkin is running really well. Calabaza. And this spaghetti squash is growing really well. I had pollinated. Ooh, there's one that needs to be pollinated. I was going to say I pollinated one, but I don't know if it's actually going to grow. I don't want to step on the... But we'll, much like the pumpkin, like when I grow Seminole pumpkins, they're in the same family, so pollinate them the same way. Pull everything off to expose all the pollen, and then there you go. And that's pollinated. But there was one that I pollinated, but I thought it looked like the squash was going to fall off. So it must not have taken very well. Now I can't find it. So it may have already fallen off. But this thing is really, really starting to take off. And I've turned it towards this trellis, even though I've got a yam that's starting to climb or going to climb this trellis. And that okra right there was underneath. I think that's an okra. It was underneath that spaghetti squash, so when I moved it, it was nice and big. But let me show you real quick the progress with the biochar. This right here does not do enough justice. This was a very big limb. So that's just one part of it. There's another part of it. There was another piece that was as long as that one, and then probably another piece that was probably about as long as that one. So, and you can see it's just, I don't know if it had termites or what in it, but it's just dry and rotten. And when you can see how it just breaks up easily. And then, so when I found it out there, I'm like, okay, can't get rid of that. That is good fire material right there. You see, it's just dry. You know, you can step on it and it starts to break up. But I burned two of them. I burned a big one and one of the smaller pieces. And so there's all the charcoal. Some of it, I'm sure, burnt down to ash. You can't control that. But I've already started in here with putting some charcoal that was already in there, down in there. So what I'll do is I'll scoop all that out, put it in here, and then there are some bigger pieces that I couldn't break up, and the next time I burn, they'll burn down more, and I probably will be able to break them up then. So yeah, and then, you know, once I get enough of that, I just gonna have to buy stuff to charge it up with in that drum, and then I will be ready to put it in the garden. I think you put it in, I think when you're charging it, you let it charge for 3 to 4 weeks. I'll probably do at least a month, just to give it some good time to soak in all of that, all of the you know, because you put like liquid fertilizers and stuff like that. You can put compost tea. I think you can put like worm castings in there, worm tea, anything like that that's going to be, you know, really good to really good fertilizer. You put it in there, sorry, I'm just cleaning up here and talking at the same time. You let it you let the charcoal soak all of that fertile liquid up. It soaks in all that fertility, and then you put it in your garden. You know, dig it in. I'm gonna have to kind of side dress with it, but you put it in the garden, and it is like a delay release fertilizer. It holds on to all of that fertility, and then, you know, it slowly releases it as it breaks down into your soil. So I'm definitely wanting to try that because my soil is poor, and I want, you know, I'm trying. Unfortunately, I've been using a lot of Miracle-Gro this year, but it's just because I don't have very good soil. I did put this kelp meal in there. I don't have good soil. It's really, really bad, you know, so I'm having to fertilize and try to give it fertility as much as I can, because one thing is it's sandy soil, so it doesn't hold on to things. You know, stuff tends to just run through it. The other thing is it's just not very nutrient dense soil. You know, it's got a lot of phosphorus, and that's about it. So you need more than that. You know, you need nitrogen, potassium. You also need your micronutrients, which I'm sure this soil has hardly any micronutrients in it. So, but doing the biochar will help that. Ouch. So that's all I've got for today. That was a little anticlimactic because the strawberries were not like what I was expecting. I was expecting 10 actual little tiny plants that I could plant out. I didn't think it would just be one big root ball. But like I said, hopefully they'll come up and then I can divide them up and you know, plant them around the garden. I don't know why these, maybe they're about to start blooming. These black-eyed peas, they're getting big. I mean, this is like, I've hardly done anything to them, and I'm telling you, black-eyed peas, if you want something that's easy and you just want to get something, you know, to grow and to produce for you, black-eyed peas are the answer for this area, man. They love it here, and they grow like weeds. And then over here I've got my squash and zucchini are looking pretty good. Some of them aren't going to do very well. Like there's some smaller ones that probably won't take off, but looks like some of the other ones are going to do okay. Let's see if all the insects that like to eat, you know, squash plants, let's see if they get to it. But this is my first time growing squash and zucchini here, so it is a bit of an experiment, excuse me. Anyways, that's all I'm going to do today. I'm about to run the sprinkler in here, and I gotta water some trees real quick, and that's it. Yeah, that's it. I'll be back next week, more than likely, for another video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Please don't forget to subscribe and drop a comment. Let me know you were here, and I will catch you next week. Take care.